Wait, have to wait. I don't want to. Yeah. Hey guys, good morning. Good morning.
Just won't go away. Do you have balance issues, and are you afraid of falling? Are you in need of orthotics?
No, I am here long before the show every day. And I'll leave this up to you guys. I don't start the stream until I'm about to go live. And that varies a little bit depending on what commercials are scheduled to play and how long those commercials are. So that's why I don't start it right at 6. I could do that if you like. What do you guys think I should do? Should I wait until right before I'm coming on or start it a couple minutes early? I'm never late. I've been here for 35, 40 minutes at the radio station. You want me to start it right at the top, a couple minutes early? Okay. You like the scruffy look, huh? Yeah. Early. Believe me, I am never late. When I first started on the radio, I was doing overnights, and I overslept through my whole air shift. It was like 30 years ago, and I never been late again. All righty. Welcome, welcome. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. Oh, man. It's 4 minutes after 6 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. I was just talking to Steve Kane. He is, he's been telling me he's been having a problem for a couple days, and he is going in for an unscheduled emergency appointment with our resident dentist, Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental today. Oh man, he was going to call Dr. Gupta this morning. I said, Steve, come on, wait till at least 8. I'm sure you can call him now, but wait till 8. He's not going to take care of your tooth at 5:45 in the morning. But how can he? You're at home, so you're not even out of bed yet. But no, Steve will be off today because he's got to see Dr. Gupta. He's having some. I don't know exactly what the tooth problem is, but when we find out, we'll share it with you, and of course, we'll turn it into a spot for Dr. Gupta, who's always there on call and ready for you. All right, guys, there's a lot happening, a lot going on. I watched that disturbing images at the airport yesterday. What I was really what I noticed about it right away was that there were no women among the people at the airport. Not one woman among all of those desperate people at the airport. And I started thinking to myself, well, where are the women? Have the Taliban rounded all the women up? And you know what? Maybe they have. Oh man, I mean it's chaos. Total chaos. It's a collapse of a U.S. ally. Afghanistan, before this weekend, was one of America's closest and most important allies in the war on terror. And when Biden came out and blamed everyone and his brother other than him, and he seemed to me to be particularly annoyed that he had to interrupt his Camp David vacation to come here for that press moment. Didn't he look annoyed? He blamed Trump, which he blamed even Obama. Yeah. I've never seen someone who was so uncaring about the suffering of others. There's so much going on. I mean, obviously, we talk about our veterans and how they've suffered and what their loss meant at this point, which looks to be nothing. And that, looking in the immediacy of it, though, what's happening to the men and women in Afghanistan, in particular in the capital in Kabul, is one of the most horrific events that has happened in the last half century. Certainly in the 21st century. They're going to people's house, the Taliban, door to door, and ripping them out of the homes. And you know what happens next. They're forcing women into marriages. You know what's happening to the women. I don't have to keep telling you. The women of Afghanistan are being raped and tortured without mercy as we speak. Men are being murdered, and Biden comes scooting out like George Burns back in the old God days, pissed off that his vacation was interrupted. How dare he? What an uncaring person. And where the hell is President Bush? President Bush started this ground invasion. President Bush, Afghanistan was a major part of his entire presidency and legacy. Where the hell is George Bush and his outrage? President Trump came out and demanded the resignation of Joe Biden yesterday. Where's George Bush? I want to hear your thoughts on, and in particular, I want to hear your thoughts on Biden yesterday at 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. I've never seen anything like it. And again, I'm not talking about the humanitarian crisis. What I'm in particular talking about right now is how sick, sad, demented, and sadistic Biden seemed yesterday. The last time, and I'm not exaggerating with this example I'm going to give you right now. I am not exaggerating. The last time I saw someone on television so uncaring about the suffering, death, and sacrifice and loss of others, and I'm not kidding. This was a few years back when BTK got up in front of the judge and confessed in detail all of his crimes. Remember, he made a plea deal, BTK, the serial killer, and because of the plea, he had to confess everything that he did, and he got up in the courtroom and he was like bragging, and it was really sick to watch. Remember that? That's what it was like watching Biden yesterday. He did not follow Trump's plan. That was a lie. The Secretary of Defense and General Milli Vanilli should be fired without question, just instantly. And where the hell was Kamala? All of a sudden, Kamala wasn't with Biden. She's hiding out. She wants nothing to do with this. You know, here you've got Biden who's upset about his vacation being interrupted. Here you have Kamala who's worried about how she's going to get through the news cycle. Are any of them worried about the people that are being raped and murdered as they're trying to get through a news cycle in Afghanistan? And I know it's hard to imagine. I've got goosebumps talking about it. Even MSNBC and CNN have abandoned Biden and are calling Biden out. Our number is toll-free 1-888-GO-KANE 1. You're on the radio. Good morning. Oh, hold on. Good morning. Let me try another one. Good morning. You're on the radio. Hey, Mike. What's up?
This fool has been in politics for 1973.
That's right.
He's seen the Vietnam War. He's seen what Bill Clinton went through with, I think it was Serbia. He was there on 9/11. He served 2 terms as vice president, and this is his plan.
Yeah.
Just leave. Leave all the tanks behind.
You're on your own. You're on your own. You know.
Goodbye. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the leader of the free world.
Did he look? When you saw Biden speak yesterday, did he look annoyed that he was bothered that he even had to comment on this? That people dared question his decision?
He has zero compassion at all in his whole 15-minute speech. Zero.
Well, I got a question about that. Okay, I got a question. I learned something yesterday that I did not know. It's being widely reported by multiple sources that are credible that the military leadership, you know, the woke defense secretary, the woke General Milley, that their advice was not to pull out like he did a couple months ago. What I'm wondering is this: is he so senile and crotchety that he ordered this pullout just over the annoyance that everyone around him, that his advisors were advising him not to do it, and he just got annoyed and did it. Is his senility resulted in this humongous human rights crisis?
I think it did, because he's not. This is probably his only shot. He'll let him call on his own. Everything else, someone else has been doing it. So yeah, he did it. He took responsibility for it. But he took responsibility for pulling out. That's it. He deflected the whole time about why actually he had to be there talking.
And for him to walk away from the podium and go right back to Camp David, the reason he's at Camp David, he usually goes to Connecticut. That's fine. President Trump has the, Mar-a-Lago, and Bush had the ranch in Crawford. But he's hiding out at Camp David because Camp David's a military post, and the press don't have access as easily in the public to Camp David as they do in Delaware. So he's out there really being sequestered and hiding out from the media during this, while people are being raped without mercy and murdered and executed.
And where's George Bush? Where's Colin Powell? Where are all these people?
Yeah.
20 years there.
I'll tell you, there's one person I'm really wishing we had with us still. Donald Rumsfeld passed away recently. But Donald Rumsfeld would be all over television having a flip out over this.
He would be going completely nuts over there.
Yeah. And shame on George Bush. Shame on George Bush. George Bush should be out there screaming from the top of his lungs.
I'm just wondering what the people that survived 9/11 at the towers, all the people that were in that tower, the people that the police, the EMS, the firefighters, what are they thinking this morning when they're getting out of bed?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a tragedy.
Remember Beamer? Let's roll. Flight 93. And then we got this crotchety old coot who's pissed off because he had to come back to the White House for a statement, and then he won't talk to anyone, won't take a question, he scoots away. I mean, people are grabbing onto the wheels of airplanes on takeoff. They're so and where were the women at the airport? What have happened to Kabul's women?
They're all men.
Not one woman. I didn't see one woman.
They're all men.
No. So the women, my assumption is that the women have all been rounded up by the Taliban, or are hiding and afraid to make the run for the airport, that they might get picked up and kidnapped.
It's gross incompetence.
Where's Kamala with this? Where's Kamala, the first female vice president? Where's her concern for the women of Afghanistan?
What are the other three other ones?
That's right.
They're nowhere.
It's disgusting.
Right.
Hey, take care, Mike. Mike and Boca, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. I want to hear your thoughts on all of this, in particular, though, Biden yesterday. Your take on Biden. 1-888-GO-KANE-1. That's the number. It's a toll-free call from anywhere. 1-888-465-2631. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Brian Craig here.
Be right back, guys.
For years how great MyPillow products are, but don't just take my word for it. This is one of our listeners, Todd. He bought the MyPillow mattress topper, and he called us live on the radio to tell us about his experience with the MyPillow mattress topper.
Yeah, I'm calling to get testimonial about my pillow topper.
You ordered the MyPillow, the mattress topper?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, I was thinking about buying a new mattress. My old mattress was getting old, so my wife's like, why don't you try that pillow, that mattress top? So I went on, I used your promo code Kane. I got a great price. Got it home, and I've been using it for the last 3 nights. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
It feels like a whole new mattress.
I talked to other listeners with the MyPillow mattress topper, and they come in all sizes. The mattress companies have turned into con artists. When I was a kid, mattresses were two-sided. You'd have the mattress, then after a while you'd flip it over. Now you can't flip mattresses anymore. They don't make them that way anymore because people weren't buying mattresses enough. So the mattress company stopped making two-sided mattresses, and mattresses are expensive. I've had to buy a new mattress, and mattresses can cost well over just for a regular normal mattress.
Steve Kane Show.
So that MyPillow mattress topper is a big
Steve Kane Show.
Saved you from buying a new mattress. mattress
Hold on.
and turn your whole bed into a My Pillow.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I really love it.
You know, you guys that are out-of-town listeners, a great way for you to support the show, support my content, is use that promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, and buy something at My Pillow. You can save up to 66% off. And if you're watching us in the UK or Canada, that promo code works for you too.
K-A-N-E, 30% off the My Pillow mattress topper. Turn your old mattress into a big My Pillow mattress. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at MyPillow.com.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back. Oh man, it's Tuesday morning. It's 20 minutes after 6. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We're talking about, well, Afghanistan in general, but more specifically, your thoughts on Biden. Good morning, you're on the radio. What's your name?
Joanne.
Hey, Joanne.
I just want to say one thing, that the real blame belongs on all the American people who voted.
Yeah.
All their liberal.
Oh, by the way, that includes President Bush, who voted for Hillary in 2016 and Biden last time. That falls on George W. Bush, who not only voted for Biden, but advocated for Biden over President Trump.
Republican my entire life.
Oh, good for you.
And I agree with everything you're saying now about Bush and all of them who caved in, including the media. The media should.
What is your take on Biden going back to Camp David after his statement and didn't take any questions?
It's beyond words.
Thank you, K.S. Kelly. Thank you.
Something that you can't even fathom, that a president of the United States would do something so.
Now let me ask you, because I was supposed to ask who was your first president you voted for?
God.
It's okay.
I remember as a little girl listening to FDR when.
So Truman, or FDR.
Too young, but I remember sitting and listening to him when Pearl Harbor was bombed by the.
Oh my goodness! So your first, maybe Eisenhower was your first vote.
Probably.
Okay, so let's just, I'm not trying to show you, but that's a lot of president. Out of all the presidents, I don't care who they are, Republican or Democrat, who's spoken on anything, have you ever seen one that was so sick and sadistic and uncaring about the suffering of humans as Biden yesterday?
Never. And I'll tell you something. Biden should be put back in his rest of his life, along with whatever her name is, and the Pelosi, and all of the media who covered up for him all of this time.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, though. I don't know how long it's going to last, but CNN and MSNBC are really calling out Biden.
Yes, I know. I hear it.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call.
You're welcome.
All right, take care. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
Lillian.
Hey, how you doing? What's on your mind?
I'm okay. The caller before said that all those people that voted for Biden, I don't think.
Well, trying to focus in on what we're dealing with today. I don't want to go through the life of Biden, as sick as it is. What I want to deal with is what is going on today, and particular thoughts on Biden yesterday. Okay? I want to talk about what's going on at hand. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Brian.
Hey, Andrea. What's up?
I'm just beyond. I'm almost speechless at how this whole thing is playing out. And you are 100% correct. Because what you witnessed yesterday was nothing short of sociopathic behavior. Now, this president clearly has no compassion
Steve
for
Kane
the
Show.
American people.
Yeah.
But look at how many protests
Yeah. What's your name?
happened outside that White
Steve
House
Kane Show.
within the last 6 weeks.
Mm.
So now you have Afghani women protesting outside the White House. Where are these elected officials?
Yeah.
Here's the Me Too movement.
Well, they need to protest somewhere else because Psaki's on vacation, Biden's on vacation. No one's home at the White House.
But Brian, what did they do yesterday? They airlifted how many Afghani people?
Yeah, they're bringing 30,000 to America, they said, yeah.
Okay. With that being said, what did they do when people from Cuba, who were leaving almost the same exact persecution, they turned them back?
Well, what do you think happened? Why do you think Biden doesn't care about? I mean, that video of the airport yesterday I thought was very emotional to watch, and it was on all day. Biden looked pissed. What is it about Biden? Why do you think Biden doesn't feel any responsibility or emotion connected to this mass slaughter that's going on in Afghanistan?
Do you know why? I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say the truth. Because Biden has gotten a ton of cash from China to look the other way. You know, that's the payoff. He sold this country out. He got paid. What happened to the women of Afghanistan?
Well, you know, this is the thing with Biden. Biden knows this is it for him. I mean, you know, his post-presidency, at his age and his health, there's you know, that's it. This is his last rodeo. So he doesn't give a. You're really getting to see an insight into what Biden's really like, because he has no further ambitions beyond right now. Even, you know, other presidents, when they leave office, they want to rake in some money on speaking tours and things like that. He knows that's not going to happen. So we're seeing the real Biden yesterday. I think the real true Biden for the first time. He doesn't give up, you know what, about anyone other than enriching himself. I was surprised he didn't blame the past presidents for Hunter's drug addiction.
Brian, we're getting to see what not only the real Democratic Party looks like, we're getting to see what the real Republican Party looks like. And not for nothing, where are they? Because if that was Trump, there would be Democrats.
I saw a lot of I saw a lot of Republicans on TV yesterday on all the different channels, pretty pissed off at Biden. You know, this impeachment, having an impeachment every month, it's not going to go anywhere. And the 25th Amendment ain't happening. You think Kamala wants to invoke the 25th Amendment now and be responsible for this mess? I don't think so. All right, Andrea, hey, take care. Thanks for the call. Let's go to Wisconsin. Gary. Hey, Gary.
Good morning, Brian. How are we doing today?
Yeah, you know, best as you can do while there's a massacre going on in Afghanistan.
Yeah, you know, one thing Andrea did touch on is about China, because I've seen reports that all of a sudden China is going to help the Taliban. So that's not looking good.
Yeah.
But, you know, with Biden, I think the reason why a good majority of it's hiding, because if you remember back in May 1st of last year, our 45th president, our great president, established the peace over there. And I think in a way, because when Biden got in office, barely hours after the inauguration, he was signing all these executive orders, 12 to 15 of them.
And he said, I don't even know what these things, he said, and Biden said, I don't even know what these are. I'm just signing. He said that.
Exactly. But the thing is, I think what Biden is trying to do, even though he sold himself out to China, he is wiping off everything that had to deal with his predecessor, and why some of these generals probably told him what was going on there, and he was like, well, I'm the chief. He probably could have said, we don't ever know, but he probably said, I'm the commander-in-chief. It goes the way I say it. It could have went that way.
I think so. I think he may have, I agree with you, Gary. I think Biden may have just ordered a complete withdrawal, leading to the slaughter of thousands and thousands, just out of his ego, to show the general he's wearing the pants around town.
Yeah, and you know,
ego.
Like President Trump said a long time ago, all he had to do was leave it alone, and everything would have been fine. Everything that he set up, Biden had to just let it go, and he would be probably having to drive his economy. Every Democrat would have probably been happy, you know, in a way, except for the ones that got the payoffs and everything and the dark money. But, you know, he didn't. He had to change all of America.
Well, sometimes I've seen this happen because he's been around a second-rate player for a long time, but sometimes I've seen this happen. Steve and I, we've had sponsors. When you're the longest-running radio show, we'll have sponsors that will pass away and they'll hand off the business to their kids and they destroy it. I remember we had one guy. He had a multi-million-dollar business. He died unexpectedly, gave it to his sons, gave them a multi-million-dollar business and $1.5 million in cash, and in 6 months they were broke and out of business. Because, all of these second stringers, whether it's the kids or Biden, they, when they take over, they have a perfect situation. Trump handed Biden a perfect everything, perfect peace in the Middle East, perfect economy, and he's got to make everything his way, and he's wrecked it. He's wrecked everything. Border, everything. Okay, well, our conservatives, they're working people. All right, now listen, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. When we get back, there's much more to talk about. If you're on hold, stand by. We're talking in particular about Biden and his tone yesterday. Our number, 1-888-GO-CANE, 1-888-465-2631. My name's Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Tom Laporta, the owner of Laporta Contracting, Roofing, and Restoration. We have been in the roofing and construction industry since 1982. We are state of Florida certified roofing and general contractors focusing on residential and commercial roofing, impact windows, and building restoration. The 2021 hurricane season is upon us. If you have noticed any water stains on your ceiling, or if your roof is older than 15 years, you will want to call us to come out and evaluate your roof. Our services run from minor repairs to complete new roof systems. We install every kind of roof, from regular asphalt shingles, clay or concrete tiles, standing metal seam, wood shakes, and...
If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell if you are new, and everyone else, like the video if you're already subscribed.
604-4602.
Traveling and need a COVID test? Maybe you need a COVID test for work or school. Stop by Any Lab Test Now of Boca or Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. They offer all the COVID testing panels you need at the lowest prices, including the antibody test. Results in 15 minutes. Any Lab Test Now of Boca is located in the Sandalfoot Plaza, where Western Beef is, south of Palmetto Park Road and north of Hillsborough on the east side of 441 State Road 7. Call 561-237-5009. Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs is located on the southeast corner of University Drive in Ramblewood, near the Coral Square Mall in Coral Springs. Call 954-906-5983. Make sure to tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the sole authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes and custom inserts. Medicare recipients are entitled to 1 pair of quality diabetic shoes and 3 custom inserts. Call the Sole Authority today, 954-597-7060.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, 33 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. On the radio since 1977. What Biden did is so bad that he's even losing not just the mainstream media, CNN and MSNBC, he's losing prominent Democrats. Leon Panetta, haven't heard from Leon Panetta in a while. Leon Panetta was the Secretary of Defense and CIA Director for Obama, and he was also Bill Clinton's White House Chief of Staff. So this is as liberal Democrat as you get, Leon Panetta. And he was on TV yesterday talking about Biden and what he has done. Listen to this. This is Leon Panetta, top Democrat.
This moment is what for Joe Biden, President Biden?
You know, in many ways, I think of John Kennedy and the Bay of Pigs.
Oh.
You know, President Biden, that he take responsibility, admit the mistakes that were made.
Oh, yeah.
He's got to be. He has been, I think, truthful with the American people. He's got to continue to be very truthful. We've been through a difficult few days here in Afghanistan, and he's got to make clear to the American people that as Commander-in-Chief, he is going to continue to protect our national security.
It goes on. Okay, so here we have Leon Panetta, Obama's defense secretary, Obama's CIA director, Bill Clinton's White House chief of staff, and he's comparing what Biden just did to the Bay of Pigs, which was another slaughter by another Democrat, JFK. Yesterday, everyone else comparing this to the fall of Saigon. You got the fall of Saigon comparison. You got the Bay of Pigs comparison. This is not the darkest moment for the country. This is the darkest moment a president in the modern era has ever sunk. I hope we never see this again. But you know what? Kamala, she's so self-absorbed. I imagine her reaction would be similar. You know, I was watching Campus Reform this week. You know, Campus Reform, they're a conservative group, and they go to college campuses and ask college kids what they think about everything. And they did a video this week about asking college girls what they think about Kamala, and of course they all love her because she's a woman. What good is it to have this female role model that when this massive human rights abuse is going on of women by the tens of thousands in Afghanistan, and she's hiding out, hasn't even had a comment? You know, I was thinking yesterday, where are all of these women that were wearing the Handmaid's Tale costumes that were griping about Justice Kavanaugh? Where is Alyssa Milano? Alyssa Milano, she's usually all over Twitter and TikTok and everything with strongly worded opinions about men. Where is she on Biden leaving behind the Afghan women to be forever? I mean, think about this. Okay, the Handmaid's Tale. Afghanistan under the Taliban is the real life Handmaid's Tale. Women will no longer be able to read and get an education. I watched the Handmaid's Tale. You guys ever watch the Handmaid's Tale? It's difficult to watch, but I watch it. Women are not allowed to read in the Handmaid's Tale. They're not allowed to go to school. Same thing going on over here in Afghanistan because of Biden. You know, we had a women's liberation movement like that in Afghanistan, and women had full access to everything. Now they're property with no rights, not even a right to an education, because of Biden, because of the Democrats. And this is really what's going on right now in Afghanistan is so bad we do not even want to know how bad it is. What we're seeing, as bad as it is surface. And we don't need to see more. It's only a matter of time. They're ripping men out of their homes who were collaborators. You know, this situation in Afghanistan, Biden said one thing that's accurate, but, broken clock, that this is a civil war-like situation in Afghanistan. No doubt about it. You know, I was talking yesterday about how we are still in Germany and Japan. If we were not in Germany and Japan still, after all these years, think about it. What would happen? China would be on the move in Asia if we weren't in Japan. Putin would be on the move from Russia into Germany and everywhere else in Europe if we were not still in Germany. And even still today, our Civil War was 160 years ago it was over, almost. And we still don't have complete unification from that. There's still a huge division. The red states and the blue states. The Democrat insurrection of the Civil War. I mean, look how long that took to settle down, right? Some of this on my podcast last night, the Civil War, at the end of the Civil War, we had a 10-year military occupation of the South. And then after that, there was 100 years of terror by the Democrats through the Democrat Ku Klux Klan and other organizations with Jim Crow and everything else. And the United States government, the federal government, for a century after the Civil War, had to continually keep the peace in the South after the Democrat insurrection of the Civil War. When there's a Civil War, you just can't bug out, whether it's the United States or Afghanistan or Iraq. But what I saw yesterday with Biden was just scary. You know, when you have someone who's running the United States and has the power and authority that Biden has, who is so uncaring about anyone other than himself, and he comes out the way he did yesterday, that's frightening to me. It truly is frightening to me. Now, let me play this audio. This was on Brian Williams' program. Brian Williams, he had on a guy who was a CIA analyst. And the CIA people, a lot of them are very upset because they have spent the last 20 years setting up an entire anti-terror network in Afghanistan. And these people that are being left behind, men and women, a lot of them are CIA sources and operatives. And it's not an accident there has not been another 9/11. There's not been another September 11th for a whole bunch of reasons. One of the reasons is us being in Afghanistan and other places. But if you remember, in Afghanistan, the reason we went in, it was Al-Qaeda's base of operations where they would train and organize and walk around like they owned the joint. Now they have their base of operations again to train and plan. So this was Brian Williams. He had a CIA analyst on last night who was pissed at Biden. Listen to this.
So I'm curious to hear your reaction of this consequential speech by the American president. Didn't run from it. He owned it. He owned his decision. He owned the fact that, as he put it, the buck stops with him.
I hope he gets to own their deaths too. I feel like I watched a different speech than the rest of you guys. I was appalled. There was such a profound, bold-faced lie in that speech. The idea that we planned for every contingency. I have been personally trying to tell this administration since it took office. I've been trying to tell our government for years that this was coming. We sent them plan after plan on how to evacuate these people. Nobody listened to us. They didn't plan for the evacuation of our Afghan wartime allies. They're trying to conduct it now at the 11th hour. The thing that they were most concerned about was the optics of a chaotic evacuation. Well, they got exactly what they were most concerned of by failing to do what was right when we could have done it. We had all the people and equipment in place to be able to save these people months ago, and we did nothing. I'm appalled that he thinks we only need to take 2,000 people. There's 86,000 people who are currently left behind in Afghanistan alone. We've identified all of them for the government. I have no idea why he claims that people don't want to leave Afghanistan. I have a list of 14,000 names right now.
Okay, yeah, I mean, this is one of the things Biden talked about, that they wouldn't leave. Looked like they wanted to leave yesterday at the airport. By the way, who gave the order to make it okay for the U.S. troops to fire on Afghan civilians at the airport? I'd like to know who gave that order, but we can't ask Biden questions.
All of them for the government. I have no idea why he claims that people don't want to leave Afghanistan. I have a list of 14,000 names right now of people who want to get out of Afghanistan. And the idea that the Afghan military should be blamed for this, Do you know how many casualties the Afghan military took in an average year? More than the United States did in 20. When you're not getting paid on a regular basis, when you're not getting fuel, when no one is supplying you with ammunition, and yet you're still showing up to the fight, how dare us for having to blame these people for not having the audacity to be able to survive a Taliban onslaught? No. What we need to be doing right now, and what I am appalled that the president didn't say, was we need to be talking about how we're going to get every single one of these people out.
Yeah. Now that's a CIA analyst on MSNBC. Think about that. What Biden did was so appalling, the mainstream media are blaming him. And I'm sticking by this thing. We're talking about why did this happen? Why did Biden do this? And I think that conversation I had with Wisconsin Gary was right on the money. Everyone told him not to do it, and he has to prove that he wears the, see, Biden is run by Jill. There's no doubt about it, right? Jill wears the pants in that family. So when these generals and other advisors tell him, you got to leave the troops in there, he's got to prove that he wears the pants. So to compensate for his wife steamrolling over him, he's got to pull all the troops, and however many people have to be killed and tortured, beheaded and raped, well, at least everybody will know he's Big Daddy. He wears the pants at the house. He's in charge. Pathetic. All right, let's take our last break of the first hour. If you're new here, this is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show, on the radio since 1977. My name is Brian Craig. We are live weekday mornings from 6 until 9 a.m., taking your calls live on the radio. We're also on the air 7 nights a week, midnight until 6 a.m., with an overnight rebroadcast of the show from the morning before. And on the radio, we broadcast live on 96.9 FM, 95.3 on the FM dial, and AM 1470. You can also listen to us on the iHeart Radio app and the TuneIn app, searching for us by our station call letters, WWNN. That's 2 W's and 2 N's. That's both for the live morning show and the overnight rebroadcast. And you can also watch us live in high-definition video on YouTube. Just search for me on YouTube, Brian Craig on YouTube. Brian Craig on YouTube. We stream there live. We have a very opinionated live chat room that you can interact with if you would like. You don't have to, but you can. Or just read along for your enjoyment during the show. And if you miss a show or a part of a show, you can always catch it on my YouTube channel. All right, let's take that last break of the program, this first hour, not of the day, but just of the first hour, and we'll be back with your calls and more topics and discussions after this quick break.
It's here, the hot weather. It's in the mid-90s in the middle of the day, and that's what the actual temperature is. The heat index, much higher than that. That means your air conditioner is going to work harder and harder, driving up your electric bill. And on the line, we have Scott from Cut My Kilowatts, who's going to save you big, big money on your electric bill. Tell them how you're going to do it, Scott.
Hey, Brian. Well, we do it with the radiant barrier installation and making sure that none of your air conditioning ducts are leaking into your attic. But I have Rebecca on the line with me, who's a longtime Steve Kane listener, and we had the pleasure of going up and doing a whole attic package for her at her house on Wednesday of this week, and we put all new ducts in for radiant barrier and all new insulation. And she just wants to tell you how our experience was.
Good morning. I wanted to let you know that this morning, first of all, the people that came out, his crew were very, very polite, and they did the work. It's a very difficult job to go up in an attic, pull out all the old ducts, come in and put in all new ducts, extra additional ducts to make my system work better. I'm in the construction industry. I'm an architect, so I'm familiar with what the cost should be and how much time it takes to do everything. And let me tell you, I was very impressed, and my attic looks like a spaceship up there with all new ducts. They took out the metal duct.
Welcome. Hey, good morning, Wookiees. I was reading some articles, guys.
And they put in flex stuff, which is, what we use now in the industry. But let me tell you, what I paid for the entire package should have cost just to remove the old ductwork and install new ductwork. And I got everything for less than what I thought it was.
Well,
Wow.
that's amazing. And when Scott from Cut My Kilowatts brings that radiant barrier into your attic, it pays for itself because what it does, it cools off your ceiling, cools off your attic, keeps that hot Florida heat that's well over 100 degrees in your attic off of your air conditioning ducts, which means your air conditioner works less to keep your house cool and comfortable for you, which means you have lower electrical bills. It works. Listen, guys, give Scott at Cut My Kilowatts a call. His number's listed at stevekaneshow.com, as is his website if you miss it. His number, which rings directly to him, 954-939-1500. 954-939-1500. That's Scott from Cut My Kilowatts.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
All right, welcome back. 10 before 7. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. I saw this on Twitter. They got a photograph inside the Biden, well, I was going to say press conference, but to be a press conference, he would have to conference with the press, and he didn't. But he was reading from a teleprompter, and this is, and of course, you know, presidents and others, they read from teleprompters, but someone took a photograph, they're to the right of where Biden was, and they took a photograph, and you can see the teleprompter that Joe Biden's reading from. This is the largest damn teleprompter I've ever seen. How big is your television set in your living room? I don't know, was mine a 70? I don't know, that's why. I got a big TV. This teleprompter is about the size of my big screen TV in the house, and it's in blue until he gets to one part, and it's the teleprompter's in blue, but leave now is in red. He has to be told, and he has to read telling people to leave now, and it's in red. So, and the red, this is an interesting thing. This is how checked out Biden is. The reason the rest of it is in blue and leave now is in red, this is color-coded for emphasis. They have to color-code his words on the teleprompter so he knows when there's red to say it strongly. Leave now! Wow. Who's running the show? Who's running America? Who is? I'm serious. Who is running this country? When you have to have the part to be said with emphasis in red so he knows to show strong emphasis on this, who's involved with that? Good morning, you're on the radio. Hello? Yes, you're on the air. What's your name?
Yes, Teresa.
Hey, Teresa, what's on your mind?
Yes, I just don't believe how the generals come on TV and lie to us about Biden all the time.
To what?
So,
well, we had it last year, right? I mean, we had it 7-8 months ago when Trump was president, right? I mean, you think about, even with COVID, that was the best times this country has experienced economically, peace, our border issues saw, you know, since the post-war era in the 1950s, late 40s and 50s, you know, when we had a huge boom of economic prosperity in this country. And Joe Biden walks into a White House where everything in the country is running perfectly, and he's wrecked everything. What, you know, the inflation, the border, peace, it's all gone. And 7 months. This is how important it is to have a president who's got their wits about him.
and thanks to the media, they're helping him.
Now, well, the media are turning on him in Afghanistan.
That they're turning on him for that. But what about everything else?
Oh. I mean, can you imagine, you know, like this new laptop thing that came out with Hunter last week with the prostitute and talking about the Russians stealing his laptop? You know, could you imagine if that was Don Jr. or Eric? Oh, my goodness. And you know what? That would be right. If Don Jr. was carrying on like Hunter with the prostitutes and the videotapes and everything, I'd be the first to tell you he should be gone. That'd be the right thing to do. Yeah. Did you see Biden? Did you see Biden yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah, what's your observation of him yesterday?
Mine is like, it's like like he wasn't there. Well, he's not there anyway. He's dementia.
You think? Yeah. You know, I mean, what's going through his mind during this crisis to go back on vacation after the statement?
Vacation. He's not here.
Well, he's a government worker. Government workers in general are on vacation. But going back, see, by the way, thanks for the call. Going back to Camp David shows how little he cares about public opinion. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't plan on running again. He's the man right now. He does not care. He does not care. But leave now is in red for emphasis, so he knows to say that strongly. You know, when Biden was talking yesterday and he gets into that whisper, that's when I really, that's really creepy. When Biden gets into the whisper, when he's whispering like this. Now, in the next hour, I'm going to get to some more audio sound bites. Sky News in Australia. Oh, man, Sky News in Australia. I wish we got Sky News in Australia in the United States. I pick up a lot of Sky News in Australia online. They are a great, great news organization, Sky News in Australia. And they gave some analysis of Biden and this collapse in Afghanistan that you got to hear. We don't play much so far as news from Australia, but this one you have got to hear, and you are going to hear it after the break. Now, the Steve Kane January 21st, which is a Friday. It's a 9-day cruise. We leave on a Friday and return the following Sunday. We're going to Bonaire, Curacao, the Cayman Islands, and Aruba on the newly remodeled and refitted Celebrity Equinox. We took a cruise, a couple cruises back on the Celebrity Equinox, and I loved it, man. The Celebrity Equinox, out of all the ships we've been on a few ships on our cruises, the Equinox has been my favorite, and the Equinox went in for a complete remodel and refit. It's an all-new ship. It's even a different color on the outside than it was. And when you join us on our Steve Kane cruises, you're just going to have a great time. In particular, this one. It's a great MAGA group. This is our largest group yet. And you have dinner with Steve and I each and every night. We've got a lot of shipboard activities planned. As we get a little closer, although it's getting close to that point now, Ian, our travel agent at Cruise and Travel Depot, who plans and organizes all of our Steve Kane cruises, we're going to announce shore excursions for our destinations. We're just waiting until we get a little closer for the shore excursions. And this ship is about booked up. We got a very good deal for our group. We have a special group rate for the Steve Kane cruise, and we always get a very good deal from Celebrity Cruises, which is a luxury cruise line. You know, there's a lot of people, they say, why don't you take this cruise line? Why don't you take that cruise line? Celebrity is a luxury cruise line. It has about half the number of passengers of other ships its size on the other cruise lines. There aren't a lot of kids either, which I enjoy. But this time around, they're going to have half of what they normally would have. We always get very good prices on our cruises, but this one, when the pandemic started, Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot and I, we were talking, and we said, when cruising got shut down last year, we had an idea our cruise might not happen, but we also knew what better time to book a cruise, and we set up this particular trip on the Celebrity Equinox in January during the height of the pandemic last year, when everything was shut down in the cruise industry, and we got incredible deals for our group. But those group rates are going to expire very soon, sometime this month. I don't know exactly when, but this is the lowest price you could possibly get on this cruise. Everyone else outside of our group, they're not going to be able to get a rate on their cabin anywhere close to where ours is, and because ours is so low, and our group this time is so large, and there's going to be so few people on the ship, we almost have our own private charter on the Celebrity Equinox. To find out more and to reserve your spot, call Ian. It was a lot of fun. My daughter's coming with me. She was with me last time, and I'm really looking forward to it. I need a vacation, and I know a lot of you guys do too. Call Ian over at Cruise and Travel Depot. He'll give you all the details. And so far as pricing, it is the lowest price. Pricing obviously varies based on the cabin you get, and there's so many different variations on cabins. And he'll give you the pricing right there on the phone when you call Ian. And I'm really to it. I really truly am. It's going to be a great time. Call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. If you miss this number, it is listed at stevekaneshow.com. 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. Join us. All right? You'll have a great time. I promise. We'll take a break for the top of the hour. Come back with hour number 2. It's 7 a.m. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show.
Those who care about them. This is Brian Craig. I'm in studio with Debbie from I Will Advisors. She has an incredible new service to tell you about called I Will Advocates. Debbie, what is I Will Advocates, and how are you helping seniors?
Well, Brian, over the past few years of owning a Medicare insurance agency, we've learned that there's a huge need for Medicare advocacy, that a lot of people don't have a child or a spouse that can assist them with their medical needs, and that's where we step in.
There's a lot of things that seniors need help with. Prescriptions, doctor's appointments, things like